boys and girls. Today in art, we are going to be making a rocket ship with lines. Now, your lines don't have to look like mine. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get a small piece of paper, and with a pencil on the back side, we're going to write our name. I do not care today whether your paper goes vertical, up and down, or horizontal, sideways. That is your choice. I think I'm going to make mine going vertical. I don't care how you put your name on it though. I don't even care if you put your name on it diagonal, as long as it's on there. So right now, write your name on your paper. Then once you have your name on your paper, I want you to flip it over. Okay, so now we're going to make ourselves a rocket ship. It doesn't matter where you put your rocket ship, but you want to think about the fact that you want lines coming out of the rocket. So if you put your rocket way down at the bottom, you're not going to have enough room to put lines out. I would put your rocket somewhere at the top of your paper. So it doesn't matter if it's going sideways or horizontal, up to you, but you want your rocket near the top. So I think I'm going to put my rocket, how about in this corner? Maybe in the middle. So we're going to draw our rocket together, okay? Now, I am using a pencil, and it's going to be very hard for you to see. So what I'm going to do is switch my pencil color to a color I think you're going to be able to see, like this green Sharpie. Although you are not using a green Sharpie, you are using a pencil, okay? So we're going to make ourselves a rocket ship. So on your paper, you're going to do this right along with me. I want you to draw a curved line going down. Then we're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. It's kind of like a football or the start of a fish. We're going to close off the bottom. You could use a straight line or kind of like a curved line. It's up to you. Yours does not and will not look just like mine. It does not have to. That's your choice. We're going to put the bottom of the rocket ship on. It's 2 diagonal lines going outward. And then we're going to connect the bottom. Now you could make that a straight line or a curved line. That's up to you. I kind of make it curved to match that line. It doesn't have to. Completely up to you. I'm going to draw little lines inside. You don't have to do this step, but you can. There's no right or wrong here. We're going to put a window on our rocket ship. Now your window could be shaped like this, like an arch. Your window could be a circle. Your window could be a square. It could be a rectangle, or a rectangle this way. I don't know, maybe you want a diamond shaped window. Completely up to you. Oval. Doesn't matter to me because it's your rocket ship. On mine, I'm just going to do a super simple circle. So I'm going to put my circle there where my window is, and then I'm just going to draw another circle around it. And rocket ships are made of metal with rivets. So rivets are like little dots. It's kind of like screws. So I'm going to use my marker and add my little baby pretend rivets. Okay, so far we've got this. Okay. Next, I'm going to put the sides of my rocket ship on. Now, my rocket ship sides are going to look kind of like this, but yours don't have to. You can make the sides of your rocket ship going this way or triangles. It's completely up to you because it's your rocket ship. So you get to decide what they look like. They don't have to look like mine. On mine, I'm going to make a curved line down and then a straight line at the bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. You can make any kind of wings you want on your rocket ship because it's your rocket ship. So they don't have to look just like mine. Now at the top, I'm going to make another little curved line. I'm going to add a pretend little antenna up top. It's just a line, 2 sticks on it, and a ball at the top. A line, two sticks, and a ball. Now yours can look any way you want. It does not have to look like that. If you don't want the ball at the top, if you want something pointing, if you don't want it at all, that's fine too. It's totally up to you. Now if I want, I could add some more little rivets on my rocket ship. Little baby details. Your choice. Now we're going to talk about adding lines. Now, we've learned about lines. We know lines go in many different ways. You could have a straight line, horizontal, a straight line, vertical. You can have wavy lines, zigzag lines, loopy lines. The top of a castle line, it's a little tricky. It goes like this. So it's over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down, over, up. Oh, it's a pattern, something that repeats itself. You could have, a cloud or water line. They go like this. Or the opposite way, like this. Boop, 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 boop. You can have a dashed line. Or little dashes. Doop, 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 doop. Any kind of lines you want. So I'm going to leave these lines, let's see, how about right here for you so you can see them. There we go. And we're going to put them coming out of our rocket ship any way we want. Now these ones, I kind of have them coming out all crazy. Your choice. So I think right now you get to put any kind of lines you want. Your choice. You don't have to follow along with me. I think I'm going to do a nice diagonal line. Diagonal is a crooked line. How about a wavy line? Maybe a zigzag line. About a wave line or a cloud line. How about a loopy line? And you're making yours right now. You choose any kind you want. And I think I'm going to do a dashed line. There's mine. If you're still working, take your time. I will pause the video for you. Now we need to think about how we're going to fill this space because this is kind of boring right now. Now on mine here, I added actual stars. I added some shooting stars. And I added teeny tiny little dots for stars. I'm going to show you how to do all three. If you would like to add, let me get a piece of paper here. If you would like to add an actual star, I'm going to show you how to make one on a separate sheet of paper. I'm going to make it really big. If you would like to practice on the back of your rocket ship before you do it, you can. Okay. This is the easiest way. We're going to make a letter A. I'm doing this really giant so you can see it easy, but you're going to want to try it smaller. Okay. Now a letter A normally has a small stick right here, but we're going to make a giant stick. So it's a giant letter A. And then we're going to make a letter X. And all we're going to do is make a line here and a line here like a letter X. So I'm going to, at the end of mine, I'm going to come down to the far point. And the end of mine, I'm going to come down to the far point. So I'm going to show you again. It's a letter A, but a giant stick, and a letter X. Keep practicing that. You can practice that on the back of your paper if you want to make stars. If you want to make a shooting star, here are my shooting stars. Oh, where are they? There they are. All I'm going to do is make a curve, and then wherever I want it to end, I'm going to make a point and a point. And then inside of it, I just draw a few little lines, and behind it, some kind of little trail coming off of it. So I'm going to do that on my paper. I'm going to leave that there so you can see those. along with all of our lines. Let's see. Put them over here. Okay, back to my rocket ship. I think I'm going to have a shooting star over here. Notice I'm turning my paper to help me. You can always turn your paper if it's easier for you. There's my shooting star. Stars. I'm going to do it your way. That was the hard way. Your way is a big letter A and a letter X. Big letter A and a letter X. Big letter A and a letter X. So right now you're adding any kind of details you want. And I think just to help me fill the space, I'm going to make teeny tiny little dots. What I am not doing is this. I'm going to do it with a pencil because I don't want to ruin my marker. I'm not doing this. First off, it makes a giant mess of my pencil. And you don't know where you're placing the dots. I want you to be thoughtful about where you want your dots. So let me leave that there for you to see here. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. So I'm being very thoughtful about where I'm placing my dots. We're going to spend the next few minutes giving you time to add any details that you want. Okay. Next, we're going to use a Sharpie. If you have ever used a Sharpie before, raise your hand. A Sharpie is a permanent marker. That's what I was just using in green. Sharpies come in 3 sizes. There's like a teeny tiny size. It's very teeny tiny. Okay. Sharpies come in the regular size. This is probably, if you have Sharpies at home, what you have. And then Sharpies come in giant sizes. Now I'm using the giant one just because that's what I have at my desk. But you guys are going to use these regular ones. What I should not see you doing with the Sharpies, let me grab a piece of paper here, is taking your Sharpie and pounding it on the paper. Your Sharpies should not scream, screech, or squeal at you. So if you hear your Sharpie making this kind of noise, listen carefully. Oh, do you hear it? You're pressing way too hard. Sharpies should not make noise. So what we're going to be doing is tracing all of our lines. If you drew it with a pencil, we trace it with our Sharpie. So I'm going to use my black and I'm going to go over every single one of my little lines I drew, including those little teeny tiny dots.